because because we don't see Allah, we feel like we could do anything, like it's nobody watching, and Allah sees all. But that's not like enough for some of us. Some of us gonna have to feel the fire, meaning when Allah judges us and Allah, may Allah protect us from that. It's too late once you leave this earth. So Allah is so merciful that He given us free will. You got free will to do good. You got free will to do bad. Mm-hmm. And understanding that you are in charge of decisions that you make. But it's up to Allah to bring that thing that you intended to do into existence. And Allah has already created that. And it's just deep about that book. And I'm looking forward to learning more about that. But that's the one thing that the thing that pointed, that stood out to me about the inshallah, not saying that in their present or future tense, but in the past tense, because it's already written, or Allah's already willed it to be. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, mashallah. What about you?
I knew you was going to try to throw it back on me.
What stood out for you?
One of the things, and I took it for granted, and I actually mentioned it in class.
Okay.
The more you learn about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, mm-hmm. and I guess this goes with anything, not just with Aqidah, but the more you learn about a particular subject, mm-hmm. when you hear people talk about that same thing improperly, it kind of makes you cringe. Mm-hmm. I'll give you an example, like I did in the class. Like when you learn more about the proper belief and things like this, and amongst Muslims nowadays, people's misunderstanding is just not a simple misunderstanding. Misunderstanding has layers on it. Mm-hmm. So if a person says this wrong or has this wrong belief, you have to peel back so many layers just to show them why that belief is wrong. And most people ain't going to sit around listening for you to do all that stuff. Most people who have short attention spans, and they ain't trying to hear all that anyway, right? But like for example, certain things are figurative. They're not literal. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times when we speak about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we use literal terminology. Mm-hmm. Now, even though it may say that thing literally, it doesn't mean that.
When it comes to Allah.
When it comes to Allah.
Right.
And so we should not translate that literally. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, like people say, I'm going to leave it in Allah's hands. Mm-hmm. Right. That's improper to say that about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Right.
Because Allah don't have hands. And someone might say, well, Allah has a yed, and yed means hand. Well, yed means a whole lot of things, not only hand, right? When it applies to human beings, yes, it means hand. But when it applies to Allah, it doesn't mean hands. So even with these things, when we express them, whether they be in the Arabic language that they was given or translate them in another language, when it comes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we should translate them according to the meaning.
Right.
Not how literal. You know understand? Mm-hmm. And so you might say, well, it's just word semantics. No, it's not word semantics. People have been killed. Mm-hmm. Islamic Muslim scholars have been killed by other Muslim scholars for making that mistake. So it's not a light matter. Mm-hmm. It's very serious. What about what you and I were talking about at the shop about being able to address loaded questions? This is of the necessity of learning Aqidah. I'm trying to figure out what you mean, Khalil. Rephrase it. Address loaded questions.
Like to be able to talk about it. Maybe there are certain forms that it's not conducive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like on a Facebook, post. Yeah. You put something down and you got all these comments and stuff that's coming,
and most people are,
and they're not reading it. No, they're not reading. Not to say that it's not beneficial, but just the way the form, like, how do you have that conversation with that person? Because not everybody may have that misunderstanding of a certain thing, you know?
I hope he typed his question again, because I'm not really sure what he meant.
I'm just assuming. Just correct me if I'm wrong. But there's certain things, like I see, like on social media, people say certain things, and I'm like, sometimes I just be like, you know what, I'm not even, going to say anything.
Yeah.
Can Allah make a rock stronger than himself?
Yeah, okay. When Allah make, well, when someone asks you, can Allah make a rock stronger than themselves? Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, you have to be able to explain, because we was talking about the class and the importance of this when we were at the shop, and I was saying that this is one of the reasons why this class is important, because that's the person asking you that question will try to tell you that the question is a yes or no question. Answer it, right? And you have to say, no, that's not a yes or no question. Either answer is wrong. Your question is faulty.
Right. You got to ask the right question.
Yeah. That's like asking someone who is straight, right? I'll give you another example. The example I use, right? Somebody that's straight, meaning sexually. They like the opposite sex.
Right.
And I turn around and ask that person, do you like being gay? And the person says, what? I'm like, oh, ain't no what? I asked you a yes or no question. Do you like being gay? Yes or no? And you be like, I'm like, no, I don't care. I'm not. That's a yes or no question.
Right.
Same thing with that. That's not a yes or no question, because the question is faulty.
It's faulty.
It's based upon a false premise.
Right.
Right.
SubhanAllah.
Because he was mentioning how when a lot of our children go to school, they're learning philosophy and things like this, and this is how they're being challenged in institutions of higher learning. And in my opinion was that if these things were studied in Islam properly, our people will be equipped to deal with those type of questions. Right.
SubhanAllah. But like with the book that we're covering, it's breaking down Allah's attributes. And then it's broken down what that means. First of all, you got to establish that Allah exists. You have to establish his existence, right? He has to exist. It's no way around it. Allah exists. And there's proof, right? And Allah says, he established that in his book. That's why it's important to read his book. You understand? And get a better understanding of what that means. Right? And then once you, understand that his existence, that he does exist, Allah is real. Whether you recognize it or not, it doesn't matter. Like I tell my children, it don't matter what you do in life. When you get older and you decide to go on another path, Allah is Allah, and the Prophet ﷺ is going to be the Prophet ﷺ. That is nothing going to change this deen, regardless of what path you take. And people think, well, if I don't take this path, that doesn't make it real. No, that's not what we believe.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you have to put it like that, and you got to stand with that. Because there's going to be a time where it's coming on a time that holding on to your deen is like holding on hot coals. It's not going to be easy. Because you're going to be the eyeball while everybody else is doing their thing. And you got to hold on the best that you can, and you got to make dua for your children. Being parents, do not lack in that. Make dua for your kids. Keep making dua to the day you die. Keep making dua for them. Make dua that if they outlive you, that they can pray for you as an upright Muslim. Keep making dua. There's nothing impossible for Allah to do. We're not in control. Allah is in control. And so we have to recognize Allah's power. We don't recognize Allah's power. We don't recognize his existence. You understand? That's why I was saying, like, we do things like Allah doesn't, recognize what we're doing. He created us. He knows us better than our own selves. We think we slick and doing stuff. But once you know who Allah is, oh my goodness, subhanallah, it's levels to this. Yusuf Estes talks about this, like if someone asks you,
did your mother get out of jail yet? Then you say, my mom is not in jail. And they say, so she got out of jail. You say, no.
mm-hmm.
When they say she's still in jail, the question is wrong.
The question is wrong.
You're still in jail. The question is wrong. Like, can God make a rock better lift? And when you think about it, when you learn Aikido properly, you have basically 3 categories that things fit into. Mm-hmm. You got things that are wajib, meaning things that are not obligatory but necessary, intellectual necessities that you have to believe about Allah. Then you have things that are mustahil, things that are intellectual impossibilities. And then you have things that are jaiz, that are permissible, intellectual permissibles, possibilities for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And these and this method of learning from classically trained scholars will equip the student to deal with these type of things.
Right.
But if you haven't gone through that type of training, when you come across weak thing like that, you going through like a dilemma, a crisis in faith because you can't answer the question, is because you haven't been trained properly, or you haven't learned, or you haven't listened, and whatever, and the parent is going to be questioned about that. Because Allah commanded you to save your family. And the way you save your family is by teaching them these basic things. This is part of the Fard Ayn. This is part you Muslim, you believe in Allah, right? Mm-hmm. So it's necessary for you to know as much as possible about your Lord.
Exactly.
And a lot of children grow up not knowing anything. You'd be surprised how many children, for example, they have Muslim parents, they grow up, they get older, and then they get around other Muslim children, and then it's discovered that this older Muslim child doesn't even know Fatiha or Ikhlas, Kul Hu Allahu Ahad, or basic things. You're like, you grew up in a Muslim home. What y'all doing?
Right.
And Islam wasn't a priority in that home.
But sometimes you can teach and then they go whatever way that Allah guides them. So that's why you have to keep making dua.
Exactly.
You got to keep.
But the information will be there.
Right.
The blueprint is on the hard drive.
Yeah.
You put it, as a parent, you put it on a hard drive. Your computer can crash. Your computer can break, but it's always going to be there. Mm-hmm. Like even on a computer. You can erase your hard drive, whatever. It's just blind. You can't see it. But someone with skill can know they can retrieve what's on your hard drive.
And inshallah, that's what they'll do. Retrieve it later at the time that Allah willed it to be. Yeah. Exactly. But alhamdulillah.
Wa alaikum salam.
Wa alaikum salam till I be careful. So, I think we've been on here long enough.
Yeah. Oh, now you the one saying we've been there long enough.
I'm not running my mouth today, y'all.
Yeah, so this class we wanted to do last week when we was all pumped up and amped up, coming fresh from the class. But I guess our brother CJ and Khalil got that energy, at least for me anyway. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Allahu Akbar.
MashaAllah. Does anybody else have any comments, questions regarding anything that we discussed?
Wa alaikum salam.
Wa alaikum assalam wa barakatuh. Inshallah. So inshallah, are we going to come back on next Saturday or next?
There's nothing planned next Saturday, right?
At the masjid.
Looking for a masjid that will be doing Hajj classes. What city you in? Maybe someone that's listening here in your city can point you to where they're having Hajj classes at. Yeah, we should be here next week at 8 o'clock, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Inshallah, if Allah will.
Inshallah. Keep the, subhanAllah, we all need dua. I want to mention, keep the people in Puerto Rico in your du'as. The Muslims in China, all over the world. Us here in America, all over.
That's right. When your Imam is making dua at the end of Jumu'ah Khutbah, and he's naming all of these places, Tell them don't forget about America.
Yeah, we need, subhanAllah, we need du'as, mashallah, you know. It wouldn't be wise to chastise a parent for their children leaving Islam. Even Musa alayhi salam had a son who disbelieved in him. It wasn't the fault of Musa alayhi salam.
You mean Noah? No. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. You got the point is, do your best.
Yeah.
You at least do it, because some people are not doing it at all. Do your best, and then just pray that Allah, you know, don't hold you accountable, that you did the best that you can. You know what I mean? That's the only thing. You do your best.
You can only do the best you can.
Yeah.
You can go before Allah says, I tried, but my son or my daughter did what they wanted.
And it happens. It happens. You got children.
Yeah.
You know, we got sons and daughters that want to live a certain lifestyle. That's something that you didn't raise them up on. Yeah. And that's just a decision that they made on their own.
Many of us get tested with that.
Well, a whole lot.
Some parents go. Some parents say, "Well, my children are going to grow up, be what they want to be anyway. I'm not even going to try." And that's where your sin come in at. Not you, but you know.
Yeah, as a parent,
because you got to do your best. Allah's not going to question you about what they did when they got old enough. He's going to question you about your intentions and what you did.
Inshallah. You know. And don't be afraid to ask for help. We got this mindset that it's a shameful thing to ask for help. Sometimes we need assistance with our kids. You know what I mean? That we need assistance. Even, you know, as a person, you need personal development. Sometimes you need to go ask for help. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. And it's a blessing and a mercy that Allah will bring those people in your lives to assist you. You know, like they have the saying, it takes a village to raise a child. That is so deep. That's Islamic. Yeah. It's not, these are my kids in my house and I'm the only one that's be able to teach them. No. It's everyone raises that child. Yeah. Everyone molds that. If that child is, you know, doing something they ain't got no business doing, somebody should be able to chastise that child. Let me tell you an example. One time, my son was waiting for the bus, and his older brother was watching over him, was supposed to be watching over him. And they weren't doing, the older one that was watching the younger one, he did something, I forgot what it was, and the neighbor told me like days later, your son was doing such and such. And I'm like, why didn't you check him? You know, we got so bad that we don't want to check anybody's kids, because people are like, who are you? Don't be talking to my kids. Don't be saying nothing to my kids. That's my kids, whatever. And it's like, that's not helping them. That's not, they need to know that wherever they are, somebody is watching them. And this is for their safety. You know, if you're like, have that attitude that that's not my child, that's no concern. No, these are our children. All the children are our children, whether you like it or not. We should not turn a blind eye. If you are able to step in and help out and assist, do that. If you're able to do that, you know, subhanAllah, we just, she said, help me, mashallah. You know, so we have to get out this mindset, this selfish mindset, me, mine. And then you have issues, and this is to the extreme. I'm talking about the mothers. You got mothers killing their kids, murdering them, jumping out of buildings, slashing their throat, doing all types of stuff because they can't, you know, they overcome with, you know, depression. You may have just had a baby. You know, postpartum depression is real. If somebody is calling out for help and they saying certain things, listen out for that. Pay attention, because it's real. These kids are dying. Like I said, a lot of them are not going to reach our age, and we're not even that old. And it's a serious thing. We have to be more active in our communities. That's what it means. SubhanAllah. Alhamdulillah. But we're not going to hold up you too long. It's been 2 hours almost, and mashallah, we know we got stuff to do for the rest of the, what's today? I'm thinking today Monday. My days is off. Today is Saturday. Well, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Inshallah.
Alhamdulillah.
So you close out.
No, you close out.
Come on now. I already opened. You'll close it.
Oh, you can't open and close.
Come on now. We gotta split this.
We ain't gonna split nothing.
You know what? He a mess. Well, anyway. You want to answer more questions that's put in the comments, or you want to do it after the show?
Nobody else has any questions here. If anybody got any questions, that's it. I read all of them.
No, you didn't.
I'm talking about, I didn't read them out loud, but they just comment.
Oh, they comment, okay. Mashallah.
Brother Ismail was saying how he when he married his wife, his stepson was 8, and he taught him how to pray and Fatiha and everything, and the brothers at the masjid help, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, that's what's up. I tell my kids that they have to pray to Allah and read Quran as often as possible. They're 44, 40, and 39. My hubby sent them to her nights every morning. Alhamdulillah, that's what's up. That's what's up. That's beautiful, mashallah. Yeah, let's keep it up as best as we can, because it's subhanAllah. Time is like, right now, it's almost halfway through January. Time is flying.
Gonna blink in February.
Before it's gonna be February.
Ramadan
is around the corner.
You're gonna go to sleep and wake up. It's gonna be the last 10 days of Ramadan.
SubhanAllah, Ramadan's right around the corner. MashaAllah. What made you both decide to do this type of program?
See, Imam, you late. Your class inspired this.
Yes.
We were supposed to do this last Saturday after your class.
Yep.
But
he got kidnapped by the brothers.
I got kidnapped willingly. And my intention was to still try to do the show. We were going to try last week we were going to try to debrief and talk about couples learning together and everything like that, coming right out of your class. That's what the intention was. But by the time we got back to the hotel room, it was too late.
MashaAllah. Better late than never.
Yeah. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. MashaAllah.
And may Allah reward you for all that you're doing, all that, teaching and stuff,
Ameen.
You could be, many other places, but, alhamdulillah.
Ameen.
The general idea itself, you mean the show or the topic for today? If you're talking about the show, or the entire program, what was the original? I mean, originally, we had you had like a sisters program, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we had a sister show.
Yeah, and she couldn't keep a stable co-host, and so I suggested to you that we do a show
together.
Show together.
Yeah.
And so that's how it originally got started.
Yeah, mashallah. Wanted to do something different, something that people can relate to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we didn't only want to deal with marriage issues, but we wanted to deal with just issues in general. We try to make it a show where we deal with topics or issues that everyday people experience. Didn't want to make it a class.
Right, we didn't want to lecture
but we didn't want to make it like Maury either. We something like in the middle.
Yeah. I love it. Your show is very inspiring. Alhamdulillah.
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 Alhamdulillah. Shukran, that means a lot.
Yeah, it does. That's right. We're no scholars. I'm not no sheikh, and he's no sheikh. We're just, me and you, we're like reflections of one another. So there may be things that you as the audience might, share with us that we didn't know. So this is it's not just one-sided. Yeah. I learn all the time. So, mashallah.
And I also want to mention, I remember like in my early days of Islam, I noticed the imams, like, you casually observe, right? Where certain imams it may be well known that they have more knowledge than certain other imams. One of the things that I can't ever remember seeing is imams sitting in each other's classes. I mean, like, and in my mind, coming up, I'm like, this imam need to be in that imam's class because, but I would never see it. And so one of the things, we the next generation, the younger crop of imams, what I think about when we go to Imam Amin's class is that, alhamdulillah, there's usually not only myself, but several other imams learning from Imam Amin. And Imam, I don't know if you noticed that or even thought about, I know you noticed it, but I don't know if you thought about it. And I don't know about your experience coming up, but to me that says a whole lot. That imams are able to learn from each other in the open and not thinking that it takes away from their imamate or makes them look like less than the imam and all that kind of stuff. I think that says a lot.
That's beautiful.
Alhamdulillah.
Malik says there a program coming up in February in Camden. I'll read the. There's one thing before we close out. The topic: Black History as it relates to Islam. This will be held Friday, February 14th, between 6 and 8 p.m. at the Kuba School and Islamic Center at 1311 Haddon Avenue, Camden, New Jersey. The speakers will be Brother Issa Bey, Brother Malik Robinson, Imam Naeem Abdullah, and Imam Fahim Lee. There's going to be a light meal on that evening. Please come out and join us, inshallah.
Hen said, I love both of you, the energy, your knowledge, everything. You're real MVPs. It's an honor to have met you personally and have personal access.
Alhamdulillah.
The pleasure and the honor is ours. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
Imam Amin said, you mean I'm there learning from the other imams. We are family.
Alhamdulillah.
Okay, whatever you say, man. Alhamdulillah.
Okay. So with that being said.
Yep, you can close out.
All right, we're going to close this out. Inshallah, may Allah bless us and keep us sane. Mashallah, protect us. Mashallah, from the ills of this world. Protect our families, our marriages, our sustenance, our jobs, job security, our homes. Mashallah, so much to be thankful for and blessed with. May our ungratefulness not take the best of us. So we have to thank Allah all the time for that. So with that being said, Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk wal asra innal insana lafi khusra illa alladhina amanu wa amilu salihati wa tawassaw bil haqqi wa tawassaw bis sabr. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May y'all have a blessed evening, inshallah. Don't forget to keep us in your dua. You all are in our dua.